Imagine a child holding onto a secret that feels too heavy to bear, yet too terrifying to release. This secret is like a storm swirling inside them, making them feel small, scared, and utterly alone. They might feel shame, guilt, or fear, emotions that twist reality and convince them that staying silent is safer. But what if I told you that breaking the silence is the first step toward healing, not just for them, but for their future self, their relationships, and their overall quality of life? Sexual abuse is a heartbreaking reality that many children, youths, and teenagers face. It's an act that shatters their sense of safety, trust, and self-worth. The reluctance to report such abuse is often rooted in a deep fear of not being believed, of being blamed, or of the potential consequences that may follow. This fear is compounded by the confusion and manipulation often employed by the abuser, who might be someone the child trusts and depends on. But why do so many young people remain silent? Research shows that there are genetic and epigenetic factors at play, influencing how individuals respond to traumatic events. Developmentally, children are in a stage where they are still learning about boundaries, trust, and autonomy. Socially and environmentally, they may be surrounded by messages that discourage them from speaking out, perhaps from a family that values privacy over openness, or a community that stigmatizes victims rather than supports them. The etiology of this silence often lies in the power dynamics at play. The abuser might hold a position of authority or be someone the child loves, creating a complex web of emotions that makes reporting feel impossible. The child may also internalize the abuse, believing they are somehow at fault or that their experience isn't valid enough to share. But this silence is not without cost. When a child doesn't report abuse, it can lead to a host of psychological issues: anxiety, depression, PTSD, and even personality disorders later in life. The secret festers, affecting their self-esteem and relationships as they grow older. They may struggle with intimacy, trust, and self-expression, feeling perpetually disconnected from those around them. One documented case involved a young girl who didn't report her abuse until years later. By then, the trauma had deeply affected her mental health, leading to a pattern of self-destructive behaviors and an inability to form healthy relationships. It wasn't until she found the courage to speak out that she began to heal, slowly rebuilding her sense of self and learning to trust again. For children, the symptoms of not reporting can manifest as withdrawal, anger, fear of certain places or people, or even physical complaints like headaches or stomach aches. They might try to hide their pain through maladaptive coping mechanisms, such as self-harm, substance abuse, or eating disorders. These are not just cries for help. They are the only ways they know how to deal with the overwhelming burden of their secret. But what does it look like when a child does find the courage to report? Imagine a young boy who, after years of silence, tells his teacher about the abuse he's endured. The teacher listens, validates his feelings, and takes the necessary steps to ensure his safety. This moment of bravery doesn't just protect him from further harm. It begins the process of healing, allowing him to reclaim his life and his sense of self. The ongoing ramifications of not reporting can ripple outwards, affecting adult lives and families. Adults who never disclose their abuse as children might struggle with feelings of unworthiness, shame, or anger. They might have difficulty forming healthy relationships or trusting others, leading to isolation and further psychological distress. On the other hand, families who support and believe their children when they report abuse can play a critical role in their recovery. They provide a foundation of love, acceptance, and protection that helps the child navigate the difficult emotions that follow disclosure. However, if a family doesn't believe or support the child, it can cause deep emotional wounds, making the child feel invalidated and further isolated. Practical ways to encourage safe reporting include creating an environment where children feel heard and respected. Parents and caregivers can educate their children about boundaries, encourage open communication, and reassure them that they will be believed and supported no matter what. Schools and communities can also play a role by providing resources and safe spaces for children to report abuse. Ultimately, breaking the silence is a powerful act of self-advocacy that can prevent the biopsychosocial consequences of keeping the secret. It's a courageous step toward healing and reclaiming one's life. And if trying on your own doesn't work, you might want to consider exploring professional help. As Maya Angelou once said, there is no greater agony than bearing an untold story inside you. Let's help our children find the courage to tell their stories, to break free from the silence, and to begin the journey toward healing and wholeness.